gentleman yields back. Anyone else seeking? What is the purpose of the gentleman from Indiana?
I move to strike the last word.
Gentleman's recognized.
I want to speak in favor of the legislation. One of the biggest problems we currently have at the CDC is political interference. I had conversations with Dr. Redfield and Dr. Walensky about this, and we need to do all we can to try to minimize political interference. And to do that, maybe having to be Senate confirmed will encourage presidents to appoint less partisan people. Because I can tell you, I'm a physician, but that doesn't mean physicians out there in practice don't have political viewpoints, because they all do. And I think it would be important for congressional oversight for the U.S. Senate to have someone in front of their committee where they can do a deep dive into their, not only their scientific background, but where they are as it relates to minimizing political interference in their career. Because honestly, most people that get appointed at CDC are going to be academicians, people at academic medical centers, and people who have a long history of being engaged in the political process. So I want to speak in favor of this because I think our current CDC directors are put under a tremendous amount of political influence, and that is a shame. And maybe the fact that having to be Senate confirmed would help to minimize that situation. So I'm in support of this legislation.
Gentleman yield.
I will yield.
Yeah, I just want to say that there's some truth. I mean, accurate what you said, except if this bill was enacted today, if the president signed it today, then the new CDC director would not be acting. She would actually be director for 6 months, and then she would have to go to have 6 months for the Senate to confirm. And I think some of the examples that you have cited get frustrated. It frustrates me as well for some of the people that are lingering in the Senate that need to be confirmed. I mean, we have ambassadors when a new president comes in, it takes they get appointed in January, they don't get put into until August. But I don't think that we want to undo, and I know we can't do it legislatively, but we don't want to undo the advise and consent responsibility of the Senate. And so I think that high-level officials, particularly as we've seen in the CDC, it's important that they are Senate confirmed. It gives the legislative branch, not us, unfortunately, but the legislative branch the ability to at least question and ensure these and give advice and consent. And so I think, but you know, there's been a proposal to take the CDC, because right now it's 2025 when it takes effect. There's been a proposal to just take the CDC director out from being confirmed at all. And I just think that's, even though frustrated with the Senate, we all can be, that's just not proper for us, in my opinion. But I will yield back to my friend from Indiana.
Reclaiming my time, I want to agree with what the chairman just said. I think the Senate has been frustrating under administrations on the Republican and Democrat side about timeliness of confirmation, but that's not a reason, in my view, dysfunction in the Senate to not have someone Senate confirmed. I mean, we could make that argument for the Secretary of State, for the Secretary of Defense, and as the ranking member pointed out, there are high-level military people right now being held up by essentially one senator, which is something that's frustrating. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to do as much as we can to depoliticize the CDC and regain the confidence of the American people in the CDC. That's another one. You know, if you have a chance to publicly vet and publicly discuss with the proposed or nominee for the CDC director, it can be in a public forum and help regain the confidence of the American people in the future of the agency, which right now is lacking. And so I support the legislation. I yield back.
The gentleman yields.